you're like me, you got your ballot in the mail yesterday. It's coming. If it's coming, it's coming. Trust me, this week they're all out there, and on that ballot, some big issues, and we want to welcome from the Democratic Club, Jonathan Adler and Jeannie Lepowski to talk about Prop 50. We're going to talk about that, and you have an upcoming speaker and things like that. So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about your speaker you have coming up. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, we have, her name is Russalie, look at her, Bongolan. I hope I didn't butcher her name. I haven't heard her say it.
Haven't heard her say it herself?
I haven't heard her.
That's always trouble.
Right. Anyway, but she has a wonderful reputation as somebody who builds coalitions among different people, and her focus has been on Asian American communities in particular, but she's also done coalition building among Black communities. And her topic is, the title of her talk is From Visibility to Belonging, Organizing Across Communities. And she's going to share some of her stories about organizing from the Asian American perspective.
Right.
And which is something that we as a club are very interested in, because we don't have that much representation in the club itself. I mean, there are lots of Asian Americans in the village, but we don't have that much representation among Asian Americans, and so we would really like to understand, what their perspective, what their various perspectives are, because she talks about across communities, and of course, Asian Americans are not one block.
Right.
Lots and lots of different communities with different cultures and different backgrounds.
Right. And so many came here for different reasons in terms of their settlement and the migrations that when they occurred, Vietnam, Asia, Japan, China, all at different time periods in our history for different reasons. And so there's all sorts of that history also kind of plays into it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really looking forward to this. It should be very, very interesting.
Okay.
And then
so that's going to be October 21st?
October 21st. The doors open at 6:30 for socializing. The program starts at 7.
Over at Clubhouse 2 in the main lounge, as usual for the Democratic Club.
Right.
All right, we're looking forward to that. Let's talk a little bit about Prop 50. We've heard the term gerrymandering thrown around, and that's what some states do, and that's what kind of has brought this Prop 50 to fruition here. So, Jonathan, talk a little bit about what gerrymandering is in general. It's kind of like when you see these crazy shaped districts that are supposed to be representative of the people. That's a little bit of what goes into gerrymandering, right?
Well, when you parse the word gerrymandering, Jerry was the governor of Massachusetts in the early 1800s, and mander comes from salamander.
Which you had this district that looked like a salamander, as I recall.
Described, a district that looked like a salamander. And basically, it's a process by which a party in control of the redistricting process gains seats that are far out of proportion to their actual number of voters. So people don't really understand the power of it. And the basic strategy is called crack and pack. And that is, you pack as many of the opposing voters into as few districts as possible. And in the case of Prop 50, Texas was able basically to pack 1/3, 30%, a third of the Democratic voters into 1/5 of the districts. They have 38 districts. And then to crack those and disperse them among districts where your side controls the district. And it is very, very powerful and capable. Did a little bit of back of the envelope arithmetic, and I found that if you were in control of a state, like it's called trifecta, where you have the governorship and both houses of the legislature, and the voters are split 50-50, you can draw districts that give you 80% of the seats in Congress. So the alternative, of course, is what we had and will have in California, called the Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission, which specifically prohibits gerrymandering because it lays out criteria for drawing districts: contiguous, compact, communities of interest, and keeps counties and cities together. So that precludes gerrymandering.
Absolutely right. And then, you know, in California, it's strangely enough, or interestingly enough, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor at the time who spirited that through the legislature and everything like that. He wanted to see it. So it can be a bipartisan issue when you say, okay, there's a fairness for all when we look at it this way. So we have Prop 50 on the ballot. It is a direct response to what happened in Texas, right?
Yes, but you'd never know that by reading the mailers and the ads of the No on 50 people. Every word in their material is true because it touts how wonderful the Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission is, and it runs down and disparages gerrymandering and districting by politicians.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this is absolutely wonderful, except that they omit these key 20 words. President Trump directed Texas Governor Abbott to call legislature special session to gerrymander 5 more Republican seats to control the House in the 2026 midterm elections. There's not a word of that
Right.
in that
Basically,
material.
the impetus behind Prop 50 in the first place, again, like I said, the reaction to Texas and what they were doing, that was the key behind it, right?
And the very name of Prop 50,
Right.
the official name is the Election Rigging Response Act.
Mm-hmm.
And the rigging is what occurred in Texas with a new mid-decade redistricting, redrawing of maps.
Mm-hmm.
And this is California's response to offset that. And of course, the Citizens Commission, this is a one-off, a one-time putting it aside to offset Texas, and it will come back.
Mm-hmm. Right, it's written into the legislation that it will go away in like what three election cycles or something like that.
No,
one
election.
One election cycle.
I'm sorry, 3 cycles because the next census
Right.
is in 2030.
Right.
So the next redistricting is the year after that in 2031. And it is not illegal to do mid-decade redistricting, although that's very rarely
It's not
done.
the practice, right? Right, absolutely. All right, well, lots to talk about the next meeting of the Democratic Club. I feel that for sure. I want to thank both Jonathan and Jeannie for showing up today and looking forward to your event on the 21st. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you, Michael.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.